So now we are in the play-in tournament. My 10th seed, that's where I have the Sacramento Kings. I think they're going to sneak into the play-in tournament. It is kind of, I'm not really entirely, I think I do know what they're doing. The Kings through the 2000s to the 2010s were awful. They might have been the GFF during that time period. There were a lot of here's the thing. There were a lot of teams because we could have that whole discussion. There's the Nets, the Timberwolves, the Kings, the Suns. Like, there's a whole lot of things. But the Kings had the longest playoff drought in league history. They got a taste of it in 2023, and then they were able to get DeRozan, LaVine. They get Schroeder. So they're getting these, big name players. But name household names, you'd say, around the NBA. So they don't want their fans to have to go back through a period of where they're awful again. So I think they're pretty content with staying this, just okay and in the middle, and being in a situation where they'll be in close games down the stretch, and they have a bunch of closers on their team. So that'll get them to a situation to where I think they can still make the play-in tournament and be playing games at the end of the season that will matter. And that's why I have them here at 10. I think they still have a decent enough roster, but I do think they need to shift their direction pretty quickly here, because if this is the result we get once again.
I also have them at 10. I know I'm the biggest Kings fan here, but their defense, like Ben said when he had them solo, it's not going to be good. But they got enough, at least like star power and like capable NBA vets that are going to keep them competitive. Even in this loaded, like, there's a lot of guys on here that have playoff experience and that have been there before and know how to win. It's just they need to at least put it together all on the same team. And I think they can at least do that at 42-40. I think they'll be just around 500.
I'm starting to think that we all just went nice on the Kings because we're family with Joey. Me and Miles are related to Joey, so we had to put the Kings top 10. I have them here as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the defense is obviously the big question, the biggest downside of this team. But we can talk about like rosters and experience and stuff all day long. What I honestly think is going to be the saving grace for their defense in terms of like what happens on the court is the fact that they have two of the best point of attack defenders in Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis across the league. Like, if those guys are keeping drives out, keeping like Cade Cunningham's and Jalen Brunson's and whoever else out of the paint, then that's going to go a long way to helping on that end. And then even if they do give up a drive once in a while, like, you have long guys with size who like know where to stand and be in the right spot if they can sort of anticipate that stuff. But Sabonis isn't a great defender. LaVine and DeRozan are long and they can stand in the right spot is my point. So I think that'll be a bit of their saving grace, but I do agree that they need to change their direction here soon.
Yeah. They will be able to put up points, though, because they do have a lot of reliable scorers, hoping that we get a bounce-back season for Keegan Murray. After he had a great rookie season, I think he had the record for most threes by a rookie in a season. The last 2 years, he's really fallen off from three-point range. He's gone from 41% in his rookie season to 36 and 34% the last couple of years, which is average to below average for a guy that has, potential, at the four. I think he's someone that could really take a leap for this team. But we're starting to we need to kind of see it here in a little bit, now that he's already 24 years old. Ben, who's your 10th seed in the West?
10, I got the Phoenix Suns. Yep.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was still an option.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Phoenix Suns is a play-in tournament team. Joey mentioned before that his dad, Uncle Joe, he also thought the Suns were like a playing caliber team, and I agree with him. I think the Suns are going to try to compete this year because, like Miles brought up, they can't really afford to tank, and I think Devin Booker, he's going to be really hungry to win. And I think they'll Beal and Durant anymore, that he's honestly got a better team to work with because they brought in Jalen Green, and he's played really well the last few years at times during the regular seasons. He was a big part in the Rockets having a great regular season. So I'm high on Jalen Green with being able to perform really well the regular season. That's going to help with that. And also, they got defense now. They got some actual big men who I think could play good. I think Common Molly Watch and Mark Williams could stay healthy. They could play some tough defense that makes it tough for teams to score on them in the inside. And they could be good at catching some lobs, maybe from Booker or Jalen Green. And Dylan Brooks, he's really going to bring a great mentality to that team. I think they'll just keep being Dylan Brooks, be a great defender. You got Ryan Dunn there, some great, perimeter defenders there. I think Ryan Dunn could have a great year as a defender. And I like James Odd or
Jordan Ott, their head coach.
Yeah, that's his name. I respect him and like for the Cavs. I think he'll bring a good culture to this team. I think that's the better direction at head coach.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be fun to watch Phoenix Suns basketball this season. 9th seed. This one might ruffle some feathers here. This is a hot take right here. This is where I have the.
Wait, can I guess?
Yeah, I guess. Go ahead.
Minnesota?
Yes, Minnesota Timberwolves at the 9th seed.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not that surprised. I think they're gonna be a lot worse.
Minnesota, after making the last 2 Western Conference Finals, I mean, I just have a lot of concerns with their team. The 2 most important positions in basketball, the point guard and the center spot. I mean, there are just a lot of questions with
Gobert and Conley.
Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert. I'm trying
They
to
lost
find
Alexander Walker to the Hawks. That was a big loss. The one guy that they have is Behringer on the Wolves. Did he get drafted there?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be very interesting. See if he can learn from him, maybe even steal some of Gobert's minutes. Yeah, Miles, 9 is lower than I would have put them. That means you got the Spurs and the Kyrie-less Mavs above them.
Yes, I do.
But I do think it'll be close. I have the Wolves at 44, the Spurs at 44, and the Mavs at 42. So a little spoiler, but I agree.
Pretty close. Yeah, the Wolves, again, point guard and center, Conley and Gobert, they're getting older. I think there are question marks there. And then the bench, besides Naz Reid and DiVincenzo, just a lot of unproven guys there. I mean, they really only have 7 players on their team that legitimately played for them last season. And again, Conley and Gobert, I think, are question marks. You got Rob Dillingham, who didn't play a whole lot in his rookie season. I mentioned my concerns about him being the point guard of their future. I think Jalen Clark can be good. He's kind of just a defensive guard at this point. Terrence Shannon will get a lot of opportunities, and I think he will be strong for this team. But then there's the Berenjers, the Leonard Millers, like just a bunch of guys that are just unproven in this league that are
even Shannon is unproven.
Yeah, Terrence Shannon's. They just have a lot of unproven guys on their team, and I just don't really like their roster at this current moment in time. And I just really like the situation for a lot of these other teams better. And obviously, Anthony Edwards is insane. I think he's going to have an incredible year this year. I'm just not sure how far it'll take them this season. I mentioned it a bunch of times. I think they got in a couple very advantageous playoff series last year to get them to the conference finals. And in most other situations, they would not have made it past the first round. They took advantage of their opportunity, which, all credit to them. But this season, I think it's going to be difficult. I think the Western Conference is going to be a lot better, and they got worse this offseason. They're one of the few teams that got worse. That's why I have them this low.
I don't hate the reasoning. I guess I'm still more of a believer in, and Edwards. I have him a little higher. I actually have him out of the play-in. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I'm not too surprised by that. I think they're still projected to win like 50 games, which I think is a little crazy.
That's a little crazy. I wouldn't go that far.
But anyway, so Nick, you kind of spoiled a little bit. Who's your 9th seed?
The Mavericks.
That's where you have the Mavs. All right.
That's where I also have the Mavericks. I have them at 45 and 37. Still winning a lot of games, but playing because the West is that freaking tough.
Well, they're going to have to figure some stuff out in the beginning of the year with Cooper Flagg and how much they want to put the ball in his hands and what that really looks like. Dude, I've been playing with the Mavs on 2K. They're phenomenal on 2K. Jaden Hardy, just skip D'Lo. Kyrie, straight to Jaden Hardy. Little pro tip for you.
Yeah, I mean, well, in 2K, I mean, they're huge, so that helps. And in real life too, they're huge. I mean, we saw how the potential in the 2.5 quarters they played against a good Houston Rockets team, and how great they played before Anthony Davis got hurt. And unfortunately, we're not going to get to see the whole thing really materialize until Kyrie gets back. Hopefully, some point in the second half of the season. I've voiced my concerns about Kyrie about putting the Mavericks as a contending team this season. I'm not sure if we should be doing that. But I still think they're going to be really good. I have them as my 8th seed. But, Ben, who's your 9th seed?
Yeah, it got tough at the 9th seed. Man, I was considering multiple different teams here, and I was thinking, oh, this could go either way.
He's
But
leading it
this
up.
might be kind of a hot take to you guys. I have the Golden State Warriors at number 9. Steph, I still think can be great, but they didn't do a whole ton this offseason. They got Al Horford, who could be a nice fit as a stretch big, but he's getting old. He's like 40, and Quentin Post is still developing. He still is a bit unproven down there, so I have question marks about their big rotation. I worry about their size. I think that could be hard for them when they play the Spurs and the Nuggets, especially. And Jimmy Butler, you know, look in the regular seasons with the Heat the past few years, the Heat, I predicted them to finish more higher with Butler as a star player, but then Butler didn't play as good as I thought he would in the regular season, and they finished lower. And I questioned how will Butler do in the regular season? He can compliment Curry well, but how motivated will it be? That was a question mark. And then the whole Kaminga thing's crazy too. How will that loom over the team? That I think will kind of loom over them, and that's the tough situation they're in. But Steph's there, and they'll be competitive. They'll be good as long as they got Steph there. He still does incredible things.
Joe, I think you were about to say something with the Warriors. You have them as your 8th seed?
I do. I was about to say, I was like, it's not much of a hot take there, Ben, because I only have them one spot higher. They're going to win a lot of games because that starting lineup is still really, really good. And until Curry shows a sign of slowing down, I'm going to continue to believe he's still one of the best point guards on the planet. And that translates to a lot of wins. So I still think they're going to be competitive, probably make the playoffs as a play-in seed and hosting a game. So
despite all that, I still have the Warriors a bit higher here. But Nick, who is your 8th seed?
My 8th is the Spurs.
That's who's got the Spurs.
Finally getting around to the Spurs.
I only have them one spot higher at 7.
The Spurs are going to make the playoffs, boys.
I do as well. I have the Spurs at 7.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Wemby time.
Yeah, it's Wemby time down there in San Antonio.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know.
I'd be so excited to see him in the playoffs. I know that's what every NBA fan has been hoping for ever since he was drafted into this league, and we were hoping it was going to be with Pop and one last run, but obviously that unfortunately didn't happen. But either way, I agree. I think we're going to see Wemby in playoff basketball this year, and it's going to be real exciting.
Yeah, I think year 3 is about the time where the player and the team makes a little bit of a jump, but really on the back of a player. But the Spurs do have a good roster as well. But Ben, you've been a little quiet. Do you have them a bit higher? Who's your 8th seed?
At the 8th seed, I have the Los Angeles Lakers.
Oh!
Yeah. Yeah.
Bombshell.
Look, I don't think they're going to be very good defensively. That's not going to help them. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that center rotation still. Even though we got a 10 better at 8, but that's not going to be great still. Luka, yes, I believe he could have a super good year, but I worry about the fit of this team. Things aren't going to fit the best, is what I'm predicting at times. and got LeBron who's getting old, but I still think he can have some great games, but it's gonna be hard for him to play like every game and have him out there all the time. That might kind of affect them. And yeah, GG Redick, he's going the second year. I think he'll have some more knowledge as a coach this year, but he'll still be developing. I think.
I love that. I love that take, Ben. That is great.
So about the question that you had, saying if we would all have the same top six, that is not correct.
No, it is not correct. That is something else. All right, I like it though. Nick, who's your 7th seed?
Minnesota. Yep, I got them this low. I kind of made my case that I think they got worse. And Miles, you were dead on about the 2 most important positions in basketball, and they got question marks there. 7 guys and only 5 without a question mark. So
yeah,
got them
all
at
right,
7.
Ben, who's your 7th seed?
I have Dallas here at 7. Yeah, Dallas during the regular season, it's gonna take some time for them, like at the start, to figure things out. It's kind of a 2 timeline thing, like Miles said, with Cooper Flag there, developing. You should want to give him the ball, develop him. Come on, that's a generational prospect you got in your hands right there. Then you still got Anthony Davis, who I hope he can stay healthy. It would be a lot of fun if Anthony Davis could stay healthy. I'm believing he can stay more healthy. I think he could look dominant at times with Dallas this year. He can do great stuff offensively, and I think he'll be awesome defensively. And overall, I really like the Mavericks' depth. I think they have some of the best depth out of any team in the league. Like, at point guard, it's awesome point guard depth, especially when Kyrie comes back. Like, man, and I think D'Lo could do a good job, be good and serviceable before Kyrie comes back in there at the starting spot there. And I think Kyrie, once he comes back, I guess it'll take some time for him to get used to things, but can get back to playing at a high level. And I think the Mavs will get things more figured out there and will be able to land the 7th seed. And I think they're going to look scary going into the playoffs this year. Like, the Mavs are going to be no easy team for teams to face this year, especially when they get Kyrie back with all that depth and just having all different guys who can do all different things well and having just great height and length.
And the good thing for the Mavs, too, is if they want to take this year to develop Cooper Flag, get the bigs used to playing with each other, and all that sort of thing, that's fine. Their top 12 players are all under contract next season. So they're going to have the same team next year unless, they decide to make a transaction or something. So I think next year is the year where they should be looked at to be, I think, a top team in the Western Conference. But this year, don't worry about being a championship contending team. Just focus on developing Cooper Flag, get Anthony Davis, Derek Lively, all those guys used to playing with each other, and then go from there next season. I'm really excited to see what that team does.
I feel like they can do both. I mean, I know you said they can't do both, the 2 timeline thing. They can't fully develop Flag and fully go after the championship. But if they go after the championship, that's going to help his development because you're throwing him into high pressure situations where you're going to have an expectation that he performs.
True.
It's just it'll be interesting because offensively, you could say his best asset when he has the ball is passing, and even for LeBron James, he didn't come in as an incredible playmaker. Like, it took him a few years to really develop full on NBA level passing, and so we'll just see. But should be an incredible year to see Cooper Flag play. So now our playoff lock teams, we're in the top 6. 6 is where I had the Los Angeles Lakers, and I thought I was going to have them pretty low. So seeing Ben have them at 8 was something else, but I like it because I absolutely agree. I do not like the fit of the players on this team. Their best defender in their starting lineup is LeBron James, and then really, I mean, they're the 3 best defenders on their team Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, and you could even say like Maxi Kleba as a versatile defender, are all unreliable. They're all injury prone. They're all obviously a year older, and offensively in the starting five, 4 of the 5 guys want the ball, and they're not, and none of them are playing defense. So I feel like the blueprint going against them can be pretty simple. Just get Luka or Reeves on you, or even Ayton or LeBron. They're not going to want to play defense. And then just go at them. I mean, I feel like what the Timberwolves did, exposing them in the playoffs, I think that's a blueprint that teams are going to need to do against them, because they're obviously very talented, especially offensively. They should be a great offensive team. Got to make them work at the other end.
Yeah, I have them at 6 too. For a lot of the same reasons. The one fit I do like is LeBron and Luka, and I think they're going to be great together as they were last year. And the offense is going to be cooking. And I see a world where they're like playing well on the offensive end, well enough to like win games at the end. And even if they give up 125 points, like maybe they can score 136. Like, you know what I mean? But the thing is, it's going to be a long season with LeBron as your best defender, and constantly getting blown by and giving up layup after layup. And if that ends up being the case, it just takes a toll on you throughout the course of a season. I think there's going to be some games where they should win heading in, like they should win, and they end up losing, or towards the end of the game, like they just fumble it, because it's going to be a taxing season on this team. And yeah, I have them at 6, 46 and 36.
There are going to be some games where they just can't get it together, like against the Suns or the Pelicans.
Right.
Like
right.
random games that they should
Right.
win, they're just going to drop. And the thing is too, like they could obviously, if they really wanted to, they could make a change in their starting lineup to add more defenders. But tell me which one of those starters is going to be okay coming off the bench. None of them are going to be okay coming off the bench. So they can't make that change. They can't make the adjustment. So they're stuck in playing this one way, and they can't really go another direction, because those guys all need to be on the floor when it matters most, you would think, you know?
Right.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens, but definitely a lot of questions. I think there are more questions with the Lakers than a lot of other teams in the West.
I am all on board for this Lakers hate, man. I love it. Even though I don't feel the exact same way, have them a little higher, but I love it. I really hope that I hope they fall in where Ben has them, honestly. I truly do. That would make me so happy as just an NBA fan. I love seeing the big markets just tank.
Yeah. But that said, Joey, who's your 6th seed?
I have the Timberwolves. I still believe in Ant Edwards. I think they're still a really solid defensive team. I think some of the other guys will step up. I'm a big believer in Terrence Shannon Jr. as well. So I don't know. I think they're winning just under 50 games. But come on, this is still a really, really good, pretty deep team still. And who knows? Hopefully Dillingham takes a step, because you guys are absolutely right. They're going to really need to find out this year, because Conley I would assume this is one of his final years.
Well, it's one of his final years being starter quality, if that's even still a case this year.
Yeah,
like
I agree. That's the biggest question, honestly, in my opinion.
They could end up moving Ant to the 1 and starting like Jalen Clark or Dante next to him.
They could. They might put the ball in Ant's hands a lot and experiment with his playmaking. But either way, I'm not sure if that can get you through a whole regular season and playoffs with, again, a top 7. Like
he's not a point guard. He's a score. He's a score first.
It's very similar to like Devin Booker running the point guard. Like, yeah, he can play make, but they're at their best when they play the 2 guard.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Ben, who do you have as the 6th seed?
I have Minnesota as the 6th seed too.
Wow.
I think the Timberwolves this year, should look like just the overall great team.